salon owner, and our mission is to get salon owners profitable fast, because it is a very tricky business out there, and we do know that only 5% of salon owners are profitable. And we want to change that stat. It is our mission. So here we are, the profitable salon owner.
Okay, I just want to ask everybody, are you able to see the presentation? I've had one person say that it's downloading now. You should all be able to see it. If you're not, I have to go back and reload it.
I see it. Yay,
okay, yay.
Thank
That's
you.
Good. That's all we wanted to know.
All right. Let's go to that fabulous picture of you and I.
Yes, actually, Eileen, this is getting to be kind of old. We need to, have to go back. It's so old it doesn't want to.
There we are. I think you're right, because, look, I've got long hair there. In fact, your hair is longer. We're both wearing shorter hair now. So I think we need to update. If there's any photographers in the group who'd like to come up to Victoria and take pictures for us, go on by. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, but just a little bit about both of us. Eileen has been in the industry. You can tell a little bit about yourself, Eileen.
Well, I've been in the industry for almost 20 years, working for an extremely large distributor whose name will not be mentioned, but probably all of you know. And it has been my pleasure to work with salon owners, helping them build their business and creating and consulting with them for all those years. And I was lucky enough to meet this wonderful lady, Catherine, who is a salon owner.
I am. I have been in the industry for 47 years. I started when I was still an infant, believe it or not, but it's the only thing I have ever known. I have been everything from a stylist and gone through probably all the different things that you could do within the industry. I've owned salons since I was in my 20s. And I've been a business consultant in the industry, and Eileen and I are now authors and publishers. We've published,
I think you can see the
book
we're carrying,
The Secrets of the Profitable Salon.
Right. And, I just have to tell you something, because although I've only been in this industry for 20 years, I've also been a business owner, and I do have a degree in business administration and marketing.
Yes, you do.
So, it really has helped me develop my my customer's business, having that kind of background. So
absolutely.
So there is a reason why we're doing this. We do know what we're talking about.
So let's get on to what we're here for today.
We are here to set you up for success.
Goal setting with a purpose. And really what we want to talk about today particularly is, where are you for the year? Is your year, is it looking good? Do you know where you are for the year? But really what we want to do is set you up for success for the rest of the year, going forward.
Exactly. I got to tell you, I was in Costco the other day, and this is one of the things that triggered Catherine and I, is because we were in Costco the other day, and guess what? They had a Christmas tree up ready to sell. And it really made us realize that in our industry, we often forget about the last quarter of the month. We let it just sort of happen to us instead of sitting back and really taking a look and assessing where we are and how we're going to use this last part of the year to have a hugely successful and booming year. So August is really a funny time. Like so many people are on holidays. I know from Catherine's and my point of view is it's harder to see our salon owners or the purchasers to get together with them. So, so it's a great time to sit back and really think about where you've been for the year and where you're going.
So let's get started. So what we're going to do today is, obviously, we're going to assess where you are today. And in order to do that, we must look at your numbers.
And you are obviously Vagaro users, so I tell you, you are already ahead of the game, because that information is at your fingertips. You no longer have to go back and add up paper or whatever. It's just a click of a button and you will find your numbers.
Yeah, so, and I'm just going to throw out a question. I would hope a couple of people would answer us. How many of you actually know your numbers? How many of you know exactly where you are for the year? Like how much you bring in every day, how much you bring in every week, and how much you need to bring in? Damien says, I don't. Damien, thank you for being honest, because I will tell you, because Eileen and I have been doing this for a long time, and I have worked one-on-one with salon owners for a long time. I could probably phone 85% of salons and ask them that question, and they would not know their numbers.
No, and to be honest, numbers are just a measure of where you've been and where you're going. But unless you have that roadmap of where you want to be, you have no idea. And even as a salesperson for all of my adult life, I have always tracked my numbers every single morning before I do anything else. I take a look at where I am. What did I do yesterday? What have I done this week?
Yep.
What do I need to do to make my numbers? Because in the end, I have to eat, I have to pay my mortgage, I have so many things that I have to take care of, and unless I meet my goals, I am not going to do that. And I don't think that you are any different than I am. I'm sure you have responsibilities.
Absolutely not. You know, and it's no different than myself as a salon owner. When I was in my salon every single day, if any of you know that listen to the webinar, I don't live in the same city as my salon anymore. So I'm not there every day. But when I was in the salon every single day, the first thing I did in the morning, the first thing was I went to look at the numbers. I went to look at the numbers from the day before, and then what we did the year before on that day to see if we were up or down, where we were towards our goals. And I looked at the day ahead to see where there's spaces and what we could do with those spaces. You have to know your numbers. And I will tell you, when my shareholders took over and I wasn't in the salon every day, it took a while and a lot of phone calls saying, what are our numbers? Where were we yesterday?
Yep.
For them to know, because it wasn't a habit. They didn't know. And whether you are an individual who just has yourself, or whether you are an owner with several employees, you must know where you're at. You must know your numbers.
You must. And you know, one of the most important things, I think that the daily numbers tell you so much. Like when you see what you did yesterday and then you open up your book for the day and you see where you have holes, because you know what, in the end that we're selling is time slots. And if you see an open gap in your schedule today, the most important thing you can do is find a way to fill that gap today. Because once today's over, you're never going to get it back. You have to fill today. We'll worry about tomorrow.
Yeah, and we will talk about numbers a bit more as we go through. And then one of the other things we're going to do is we're going to look at your strengths and weaknesses. Because, like it or not, we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses.
Exactly. And if we can be really honest with ourselves and take a really good look at where we are doing really well in our business and where we're falling down, it gives us that opportunity to really tweak it and make a plan to improve that area, right? Or to work on our strengths.
Yeah, for sure. And then the next step we're going to get into is we're going to look at setting some new goals based on your previous 7 months.
Yes, because we're in the 8th month of the year. We're almost halfway through August. Let's take a look at what we've done and what do we have to do over the next few months to make our year.
Absolutely.
And that, of course, takes us right to create a plan and achieve and execute goals, because that's what we're doing.
There's no point in doing all of this if we don't actually create a plan to achieve the goals, and then you have to know how to execute it. So we'll give you some tips and ideas on how you can do that.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so the numbers. So this is just an example of how you can actually, figure out where you are and where you need to go.
We based this on an annual goal of trying to make $125,000, and of course this would be for like a very small salon. So if you've got a large salon with lots of employees, just put out what it is that you need to do. But we just thought we'd start.
Yeah, you can plug in your numbers, but it's basically just the idea of how to get going and how to get started with this. So for instance, $125,000. So that tells us that you've done $70,000 in the last 7 months. So that breaks down to $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
So what you need now is to hit those goals. You need $11,000 per month to reach your target.
which is $1,000 more per month than you've done over the last 7 months.
And so you have to look at the number of days that you're open, correct?
Yeah, and most salons, I'm going to say the average salon is open a minimum of 20 days per month.
Yeah. So we just base it on 20 days a month, but you can plug in however many.
That's 5 days a week.
Yeah, however many days you really are open. So we know that that's like $550 per day. So which really is only $50 more per day than you have been doing for the last 7 months.
Exactly. And come on, you guys, this is exciting because if that's all you have to do to get to where you need to go, this is great because we're coming up to the busiest portion of the year.
Absolutely.
In fact, if I was this close to my goal, I'd probably want to, double that daily growth to $100 extra per day.
Of course you would.
I know. I love a challenge.
But we have to start somewhere. And just knowing the information is I think 60% of the work.
Well, for sure. And I think actually your next slide, sums that up beautifully because so much of it is attitude.
Yeah. So which are you? Are you somebody that would look at your numbers and think, oh my God, I'm behind.
Yeah.
So that you're half empty.
Right.
Or, are you somebody that would look at the numbers and go, all right, so we can do this. This is great. At least we know where we're going. How are we going to make this?
Exactly. Because attitude in the end is everything. There's just nothing else that you can say. And we have to look at the glass half full.
Yeah. And, I want to go back to the numbers. I'm just going to take you right back to this slide. I'll go back one. Because one thing I want to tell you, and I want to tell you a little bit about how I grew my business. I took my business from doing $350,000 a month a year when I would love to do $350,000 a month. Yeah, that is a goal. $350,000 a year when I first bought the business. And we are a multi-million-dollar company now. Not at $350,000 a month yet, trust me. But we are a multi-million-dollar company.
But you're getting there.
And the way that I grew my business and understanding and knowing the numbers is I used a calendar. Simple calendar up in the office, and I broke down for my goals how much I had to do every single day. Every single day that I opened my business so that I'd know at the end of the week where I was. And if we were lagging behind, I could do something about it. Because at the end of the month, if you look back and see that you've missed your goal, what can you do about it?
Not much.
Absolutely nothing.
All you can do is drive yourself forward.
Yeah, I always say that that's history. It's like a history lesson.
Exactly.
There is nothing you can do to change history. However, if you are in control and you understand your numbers and you look at those numbers every single day, you can change those numbers on a dime.
And, it's really interesting because, as a salesperson, I built like $1 million territory. And the way I did it is that I have always been a numbers person. I had my goal. In fact, Catherine will tell you, she used to chuckle because she was so with me. But I've always had my goals on a Post-it note in my car so that I would know exactly how much I had to sell every day, every week, and every month to make my goal. And it's really funny when it's in your car, I always feel you're driving yourself to your goal, but it is amazing. I really believe that it's a subliminal message that drives us forward.
Yeah. And trust me, I have been in that car when she is behind on her goal and she is focused.
Oh, yeah.
In those days.
It just changes your attitude.
Absolutely. So the next slide is, now we have to be really honest with ourselves. And you know what? It's sometimes really hard to be really, really honest with yourself. And so I just put some questions. We just put some questions up here to kind of let you answer them. We don't expect you to answer them to us, but can you upsell?
Yeah, and just a quick note on strengths and weaknesses. these are your business strengths and weaknesses. And these things are where you make a huge difference in your business. And the strengths and weaknesses that I want you to take a look at when we get off of this webinar is really take a look at some of your strengths and weakness as a driver of your business.
Absolutely. If you don't know what it is that you need to focus on, you'll never focus
exactly
in that area. So the more we can refine and understand what our strengths and weaknesses are, because it's easy to default. We always go to the things that are our strengths.
Yeah.
That's really easy. And we usually push away the things that are our weaknesses. But if we actually take our weaknesses and focus on them, wow.
Because we're already great at certain things. And then if we improve our weaknesses, holy smoly, we're drivers.
Yes, we're drivers. So ask yourself, can I upsell? Am I able to ask people for more?
Upselling is such an interesting discussion because, and if you're subscribers to the newsletter that we put out every Monday, make sure you read next Monday's because it's about the upsell. And here's the most famous upsell there is. Do you want fries with that?
Everybody knows that one.
Everybody knows that one. Here's the thing, is it's part of McDonald's system to ask every single customer who comes up to the cash register if they want fries, additional fries with their meal, right? And here's the statistics are that 3 out of 10 people will always take the upsell. So you're not going to get everybody to take your upsell, but you're going to get a good percentage.
Yeah.
And that upsell is going to change your bottom line. You know that extra $50 a day? Those 3, if you ask everybody, 3 out of 10 are going to say yes.
You are so right.
And
Eileen.
if it's even only an extra $10, it's easy.
3 out of those 10, if
There's
they say yes, there's 30, and
Yeah.
so you don't have much left.
Exactly.
That brings me to the other part of the whole upsell. Do more with what you have.
Oh, yeah.
Do more with what you have, and that's what upselling will do for you. We're not asking you to bring one extra client in the door. We are saying use the clients you already have sitting in your chair and do more with those people.
Here. And it's amazing how that ties into your business. We'll come back to that in a little bit because we've got more on that. Oh, do you rebook? Oh, my goodness. People, I have got to tell you, this has been probably one of the most frustrating areas of our business for me over the last 20 years because if you've got a client sitting in your chair, they probably love you. They probably would really like to be considered part of your clientele. And when we hear clients or stylists or service providers not rebooking, I want to beat my head against the wall because you are letting your clients slip through your fingers. You have just made your job so much harder because if you haven't rebooked them, you've got to find somebody else to replace them.
Absolutely.
Oh, I get a little carried away, don't I?
You do get a little carried away with that. But the other part of this is, not only is it putting an iron fence around your customers, your clients, but the other part of it is that we know that by rebooking your clients, you will see them 2 more times a year than if you just let them walk out the door and
book their
own appointment. Because it's life, people. We all think, oh yeah, I really need my hair done. And we get busy and we don't pick up the phone. And then when we do pick up the phone, we can't get in at the time we want.
Right.
So we might have to push it another week.
Yeah, or 2 weeks sometimes,
Yeah.
right? If we're working with a busy stylist, and it's just really, really frustrating on the part of the client. So many times we see that clients end up going to a different salon because they couldn't get in, and you have to start all over again. I get frustrated with this because to me the rebooking is so easy to do.
Yeah. And it's simple. You just have to ask. And we have some great ideas. We'll talk about that when we get to create a plan. And are you a strong retailer?
Well, Catherine, you probably know that I am really passionate about the retail aspect of our business because it's where all our profit is sitting. Like if you can break even and earn maybe a little bit of money with your services, here's where you can really, really make a difference is with your retail because this is all add-on sales. And I'm always so surprised by the statistics in our industry, like 9% is the industry average.
I know, it's pathetic.
Oh, it's brutal. And yet the proof in the pudding is that we have statistics that prove that 8 out of 10 clients purchase a product within 24 hours of a salon visit. And we also know that the more products that a client buys from you, the stronger the conditions are that they will return to you as a loyal client. So the connection between keeping our clients happy and the retail business is very, very strong.
And I will tell you that in my business, we really pay attention to our top 20% of our client base, the clients that are spending the most money with us. And I will tell you, those top 20% are all buying retail from us.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that your retail sales are often usually between 30 and 35% or
Yes.
whatever, which is fantastic.
And we're talking 30 to 35% retail to service. So
Yeah.
that's our retail to service
Yeah.
ratio.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is to really take a look at your average ticket price.
So hopefully you all know what an average ticket price is. And again, with Vagaro, it's very simple to go in. They actually break it down for you. So basically it's your service and your retail divided by the number of clients that you saw. And that gives you your average ticket price. So do many people out there, just throw me out some numbers. Do you know your average ticket price? Like what would your average ticket price be?
Yeah, because I always find that the average ticket price is such a great goal. Like if somebody is spending an average of, $50, that's your average ticket price, you think, geez, my next goal then is to get my average ticket price up to 55 or 60. And you slowly but surely grow your business bite by bite.
Yes, and really that's the big thing is bite by bite. You have to slowly work up there. So let's say you have 100 clients.
Yep.
And your average ticket price today is $50.
$55, not including retail. Okay, so Sue, what we want you to do is add in your retail, because really that becomes what your average ticket price is
Yes.
Your services and retail.
Yeah, that's your average service ticket price. I'm interested in the whole
meal deal.
Yeah, because I think that really, again, just gives you another measure of where you're at. But if you raise your average ticket price by $5 and you see 100 clients, there's $500
extra
in a month, and that's just on the clients you have. If you raise it 10, there's $1,000 right there.
Pretty easy.
So I want you to think about that. It's something we don't often think about, but I want you to put that in your thought process and start working on that.
Before you move on to the next slide, Kath, I just want to add something here, because all these things that we're talking about, strengths and weaknesses, I mean, I have heard service providers put up so much resistance to ideas of goal setting and adding numbers, et cetera. But I want you to realize that all of this is actually part of creating an exceptional guest experience for the clients who sit in your chair. Because our clients want what we have. And if we're not offering it to them, in fact, you were talking about this earlier today.
Remind me, what was I saying?
Well, it's just that, if we're not offering our clients what they want when they come in the door.
Oh, then because it's experience. They want experience. And if we're not offering, if all they're doing is getting what they came in for, and that's all you do, you don't ask them, you don't suggest, you don't, give them different experiences.
You don't educate them or prescribe for them.
Guess what? They are ripe for somebody else to pick them off.
Absolutely. So really, in the end, all we're really talking about is how do you take your service to the next level?
Absolutely. So we've got 4.5 months left in the year. We're going to help set you up for success in the last 4.5 months of the year. Because it's not what you did before, because that's history. We can only look at the numbers. So everything that's gone before this is history. What we can do is change what is still to come.
Exactly. And of course, as you probably have heard and understand, Catherine and I are goal setters. We believe that goal setting is the most important thing you can do. in your business life and in your personal life, but we're only talking about business today. And so we want to give you an acronym for setting goals, because setting goals is very, very specific. So we want you to be smart about this.
See?
That's
Smart
cute.
people
Smart
set
people,
goals.
smart goals. So, and there's an acronym for it. So you want to set specific goals. And that means that your goal is going to be pinpointed rather than general. So for example, you know, we were talking about this $125,000 a year goal, but if we pinpoint it to say, I am going to focus on increasing my average ticket price by $5 or $10. That's a really pinpointed goal, and it's much easier than, because sometimes the big, say, annual dollars, they can be too big. But if you break it down into sort of more bite-sized pieces, it's a lot easier to attain.
Yeah, and I will tell you, you know, when you're talking about that, that's a really good point, Eileen. Because anytime I, you know, as a consultant out working with stylists and estheticians across North America, I always found that if I broke it down to the smallest denominator, it made it much easier for them. So instead of saying, you know, so we'd like you to do $1,000 more a month, you know, you take it back and you break it down for them. So this is what it means to you every day. And then, so if it was $50, go, so where could that $50 come from?
All of a sudden you can see it.
And it's more attainable.
Exactly. So being specific is really important. And then we want it to be measurable. And of course, again, by having these small increments, you can measure those. You can see, okay, yeah, today I did that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm moving on. So it's got to be measurable. And the other thing is it's got to be attainable. So for example, you know, say your average ticket price is the $50, and all of a sudden you say, well, I'm going to go for an average ticket price of $150. You know, maybe that's not the most attainable goal right now. Maybe in 12 months that will be, but make it so that you can reach it, because when you reach your goals,
it propels you to
do more.
Do more.
Right? So make it attainable. It's like, you know, losing weight, you know, like 100 pounds is just gigantic, but you know, if you do 5 by 5, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's attainable, right?
Absolutely.
And then you want it to be relevant, right? So you want your goals to really reflect what it is that you're doing. So, you know, for example, if your goal is to increase your revenue, you want to focus on the revenues rather than improving your cleaning chores. So it has to be focused on that, because each goal is different. You're going to have different areas of your business that you're going to focus on. But if you're focusing on your numbers, make those goals relevant to that. And of course, it has to be done in a timely manner. And that means that when you're setting goals, you want to say, okay, I'm going to improve my average ticket price by $5, and I want to see true daily results of that by, say, the end of September.
Yes.
Right? So you want to be able to set a goal. You don't want to just say, oh, yeah, someday I'd like to add $5 to my average ticket price. No. Set yourself a goal. And honestly, I can't tell you how subliminal this is, that you will do it.
Well, and that's what it's all about. Something I love to talk about is that 2% of the population write their goals down.
Isn't that amazing? I'm saying, you know, that makes us 2% of the population.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
But here we go, because, you know, it's so interesting, because those 2% are the people who attain them.
Yes.
And with me, with my calendar,
and me with my Post-it notes,
that's why we have grown and been able to grow our businesses. I believe that. You know, I'm no different than anybody else. I'm no more special than anybody else. But I will tell you, I have always had that darn calendar, and I really like it. In fact, one of my shareholders mentioned a couple of meetings ago that they had taken the calendar down in the office, and one of my shareholders said, I really want the calendar back up. She said, because that really focuses me and gets me on task.
Because when you see it, when it's in front of you, I don't know, it just moves you forward. And I got to tell you, I've trained a lot of salespeople over the last 20 years. I've been sort of the representative trainer. And one of the first things I do when I'm out with a new salesperson is to say, listen, what are your goals? Here's how you track your numbers. Here's what you do. Here's what I want to see you do every day. And I can't tell you how few of them actually take my advice and set themselves goals. And guess what? They don't last. They don't make it. You must set goals.
So now we've talked about, setting some SMART goals. We're going to go on to creating the plan, because this is really, really the meat and potatoes.
You got it.
You have to know your numbers. You have to know your strengths and weaknesses, what you're good at, what you're not good at, so that you can actually create a plan.
Right.
And work towards it.
Right.
And be honest with yourself. That's the biggest thing.
Exactly. So, if rebooking has not been your strength, and as we said, you must rebook your clients, what's the plan?
Well, a rebooking contest. So every single time I went out to visit a new salon, one of the first things I did was look at the rebook numbers, and then we set out a rebook contest. And it's simple. It can be simple. In fact, I have an example further down as we go through. I've given you some examples for all of these. We've taken some and things that I've used. I know they work, and time again, they've been proved. So rebook contest. One of the ones that I love to use is rebook your next 2 appointments and enter to win a year of free haircuts. You can do it haircuts, you can do it pedicures.
Just pull up that slide while you're talking about it, Kath, and then we'll go back and forth between them.
Oh, back
one.
So here you go. Pre-book to win. 1 year of cut and styles. Simply pre-book your next 2 appointments to enter your name into the contest. 1 lucky winner. It could be you. The draw date you put, and I think now it's an 8-week.
Every 2 months.
Every 8 weeks, because as you know, Eileen, the statistics are showing us that clients are now 8 weeks.
Damn that online trend.
I know. That's the way it is. So, and obviously here we've got up to a maximum of 8 haircuts or 8 pedicures. You must keep the 2 pre-booked appointments before the 8th. Failure to do so will result in the prize being forfeit. This has worked every single time. You should see some of the bowls I have seen in people's salons filled with people pre-booking their appointments. Now, we use this a couple of times a year, this particular one in our salon. We do it once close to summer to book us up through September, October, and then we run it again in November to book us up for January, February.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of this. If you do this properly, because we're gonna get everybody pre-booked through the Christmas. But what it means is that during January and February, which tend to be slower months for our industry, you don't have to worry about it. You're going to be booked. I can't tell you how important this is, and not everybody does the year of cut and styles. We've got a couple of smaller salons who do, get 2 haircuts for free or 4 haircuts for free. Mm-hmm. You decide what's right for you. But here's the thing, is I have heard a lot of resistance from service providers over doing this.
Well, the one thing in our space, as the owners of the salon, our service providers do not take the hit on this. We pay for it because, to me, it's a promotion. If you are an independent, then really it's like 8 haircuts a year. And if you get 10% of your client base to pre-book, become regular pre-bookers, you have more than made up.
Exactly.
For anything you're going to lose.
Kath and I were doing a little math earlier on this because we thought it was so important. But for example, if you've got if $50 is your average ticket price, but we actually bring in your clients 2 extra times during the year because they've pre-booked, right? That's an extra $100 per client. So think about those dollars, and it's, and the cost of say 8 haircuts is at $50 is really only $400, but you've actually brought in, we did the math, $2,000.
Or it depends on the percentage that you get.
Yeah.
But, it's well worth it. It makes no sense not to do something like this. So let's go back. So that's the pre-book. And I can send, if anybody would like this, we can send you a template for it. So just shoot us your email after the presentation. Do not give us your email on the presentation
because it doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
So you have to, we'll give you our email address at the very end, and then write it down. Send us a note that you'd like to have some of these templates, and we'll send them off to you. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back, Catherine, to
my trigger finger is heavy today. So again, referral contest. And
I love referral contests.
But here's the thing. You have clients that come to you. They obviously love you. Ask them to refer their friends and family.
And remember, we were talking about, your top 20%ers. They're the ones that end up spending the most money with you. They're the most loyal, et cetera, et cetera. Birds of a feather flock together, and those are the clients that you really want to use for your referral program more than anybody else.
Yeah. And in what we do is we have a 20/20 program where, the client referring gets $20 once the new guest has been in, and the new guest gets $20 to come in and try us out for the first time. We have great referrals. So you have to do something that puts it out there. $5 is not going to cut it. I will tell you that. I see that a lot. Well, $5 and $5. Make it worth their while. It is a cheap way to get really qualified clients in the door.
Because here's the thing. The industry average tells us that it actually costs between $80 and $100 to bring in every new client in the form of marketing, et cetera, right? So that's the cost of every new client. But with a referral program like this, it's only costing you $40 per client to bring in a new one. And if you look at the long-term value of a new client, that changes everything.
Yeah, it does. Everything.
Because again, even based on a $50 average ticket price, right? You bring in, for every client, if they're going to come back, say, 6 times a year, so that's $300 that you just added to your annual income.
And it's not that, it's the people that they then refer, and on and on and on.
You tell 2 friends and they'll tell 2 friends.
So please, please, please think about really offering a referral contest. But again, unless you promote it, your clients don't know about it.
And you have to tell them about it.
So you can have a referral contest, you can, publicize it, and give them their thank yous. And the next one is Eileen's favorite is retail promotions.
Well, I do love a good retail promotion. And it's funny because I guess you and I, we like to go around and check out, see what everybody else is doing, not just in our own industry, but all over the place. And this is what I want you to do. Here's your homework, is get out into the greater retail marketplace and see how other businesses are running promotions and retail promotions, because they are very, very powerful. And again, it gets to be prescriptive, right? So if you've got your volumizing shampoos on, make sure that you're talking about it to every single client who sits in your shampoo chair or your stylist chair or whatever. Make sure that you've got like a little flyer at each station telling people, guess what we're featuring this month? Or maybe you call it the Stylist Choice product or whatever it is. Pick something and talk about it. Retail promotions are huge. People want to know. As we said, remember, 8 out of 10 clients are purchasing a product within 24 hours of the salon visit. If they're not getting it from you, where are they getting it?
And one promotion that I really like, I think it really works really well, is if you buy 2 products, it's a bounce back. We call it a bounce back coupon. So if you buy 2 products, you receive a $5 coupon towards service. If you buy 3 products, you receive a $10 coupon towards service. And if you buy 4 products, you receive a $20 bounce back coupon.
I love it.
But towards service, right?
Yeah, so you're doing this sort of crossing, you're driving each side of your business, right? So it's such an awesome idea. And you guys, there are so many fantastic ideas out there. So go and see what other people are doing as well.
And I'm going to twist these around a little bit. We're going to talk price increase next.
Okay, good. All right.
Because honestly, when was the last time you increased your prices? And Eileen and I have done some consulting lately and looked at prices and just been shocked at what some people are charging. So I had a client that we were working with, and I looked at what she'd been written up for her threading. She had been on a local TV program about her threading.
Oh, she's amazing.
That's the specialty. But anyway, I looked at the price and I went, what? This is what you're charging? I said, you put those prices up $2 today, immediately. And she was, oh, I don't, and I said, put it up. Nobody has complained about it. And instantly,
you're bringing in more revenues, right? We are all so resistant to change. And I can't tell you, after being in this industry and calling on thousands of salons, the number of times that their prices are 5 to 10 years old. They haven't had a price increase for forever. And when we see costs tripling and quadrupling, I think, oh my goodness, people, please, you've got to keep your prices in line with your costs. And I really believe that we need to be raising prices on a regular basis, not just say wait till January and throw in and increase prices across the board. But if you do small incremental changes on a regular basis in different categories. So say 1 month you might raise your haircut prices, maybe another month you might raise your color prices, or another month you might raise your foil prices. So break it down and just very, very gradually. But if you're always changing your prices, and again, it doesn't have to be by huge amounts, but if you're keeping in line with the increasing cost of your business, you won't fall behind.
And here's the other thing. I do not believe that we should post signs and tell clients that our prices are increasing in 6 weeks.
No. Unfortunately, due to rising costs, our prices are going up.
It's, unless it's like a huge amount, then I just add it in.
For sure, because here's what happens. In fact, I've seen this so many times. You stick a sign out saying, we're raising our prices. You leave it out there for 6 weeks. Eventually, somebody comes in who hasn't been in your salon in the last 6 weeks. They get to the checkout, and you give them the price increase, and they say, oh, did you raise your prices since the last time I was in? And of course, the answer is, oh, yes, I guess we did. You missed the sign. Well, then why not let everybody miss the sign? Because if it's, if we're doing incremental changes, it's, your clients, first of all, they're not going to notice, but for most part, they're not going to care.
Well, here's a perfect example. When I go to the gas station, they never tell me what, and they are terrible. They go up and down like a damn yo-yo.
I know.
And the grocery store, they don't advertise that their prices have gone up.
No.
It is just a fact of life. Stop being so afraid. And Eileen and I were out consulting. We actually, in our own local area, we were hired to go in and do some consultation. Oh, sorry, the audio is cutting out a bit. It's just the bandwidth is a little tricky today. So we were hired to go in and do a consult with a salon owner. And we looked at her pricing, and I said, you need to raise these prices, because I had done we'd done some research about what the average was. And I said, you really do need to raise some of these prices. And she did the next day. But the nice thing was, I said, by you raising those prices, you just paid for our our fee to come in and consult with you.
Exactly.
And so it's ongoing. And you know what? She has not had anyone, not one person, say a thing. And her prices for one specific thing went up $4.
Yeah. So again, like Catherine said, stop being afraid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're going to talk about add-on menus, because this is something I really believe we should all be doing. I'm going to go to a couple of slides forward, because again, we have here.
This is from your spa.
Yeah, this is from the spa. This is actually an older one, but it just gives you an idea of what we have. We have these throughout our departments. So this is our facial enhancements, we call them.
But I just want to mention here that what Catherine does too is that these enhancement menus are laminated, and they are put out on every single bed and treatment room.
Yep. So we have a nail one, we have a pedicure one. So every single pedicure tub, when a client goes to sit down, they have to pick it up off the pedicure tub so that we can actually show them, or so they can actually see that there are different things that they can add in. Same with our facial enhancements. Now, we do very well with these enhancements. So again, it's just putting it out there, and it's simple. Once you do it up, laminate a few, you have it.
And then it's the client's choice, right? You say these are the enhancements that are available. We would be happy to incorporate them into your service today. And then it's up to the client to say, you know what, I'd love to have that spa foot moisturizing treatment. In fact, Catherine, I really would like to have that. Could you do that for me today?
Well, it's rather a long way to go to my spa today. I'm sorry.
I was just thinking that right here.
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Forget that. Anyway, so that's what we do with our spa. In the hair department, you can actually have mirror clings made, little things to put on the mirror so that clients are actually sitting there looking at them in the stylist station.
For sure.
So again, it's all about just what can I do to create my plan. And
again, you guys, it's just going back to your planning. Just start thinking, okay, how can I incorporate this? You put together your plan, and then you start doing it. And that's it. You're going to be amazed at what difference it's going to make this quarter.
And then, our last thing on the list is salon event. So I'm going to click to, this is our little upselling. And what does upselling equal, Eileen?
Profit.
And what do we all want?
Profit.
And there's not nearly enough of it in this industry. So get good at it.
Make like McDonald's and get those French fries.
So anyway, salon events. Thanksgiving, it's not too soon to start planning for Thanksgiving in the U.S. and Christmas. Plan. And this is one of the ones every November 11th, which is Remembrance Day, and in Manitoba, we have to be closed. So I looked at it, decided, what can we do to make this a great day? So we decided to plan a special event for that day. And we do it every year. And it's a day every year, 2.5 hours. We generally do around $21,000 to $23,000.
Holy smoly. Now, are you impressed or what?
In 2.5 hours.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I have a big space. I have a big salon. I have quite a few staff. However, our friend Alberto in
who's got about only less than a quarter of your size.
Yeah, he started doing these events a few years ago when I was consulting him, and continues to do them every year. And in about the same amount of time, in his smaller space, he's bringing in around $10,000 to $11,000. So is it worth putting some thought into these and actually planning? Absolutely. So, and as you can see, what do we want to promote? We want to promote gift cards. Buy 3 gift cards, get the 4th one free.
And they can be in any increment. So, for example, you can buy $50 gift cards or $100 gift cards, $75 gift cards, but whatever amount you want to buy, you buy 3 of them and you get the 4th one free. And to be honest, one of the great things that when I had my retail business, one of the great things I like to do is give out like cards like this, because people often they lost them or whatever. So, I mean, it sounds weird, but, they don't all come back. They don't all get used. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Oh, Sue, are you doing services in this 2.5 hours?
No, we do not do services in the 2.5 hours. We may have some demonstrations set up.
Yeah.
But we do not do services as a rule. One of the things that we did, and it was quite popular, of course, we have, makeup demos. The gift cards, sorry, I'll go back to Sue. Where's the money coming from? Yes, the gift cards are a large part of it, but we also put on retail promotions. We have a boutique area. That's through our boutique. So that's all those different areas. So we have all our retailers on sale. We have it packaged up. We actually gift wrap some of it so people are able to walk out the door and it's gift wrapped.
In fact, I got to tell you, everybody, that Catherine, shareholder who's in charge of retail, has just informed us that she's already got all of the Christmas products ready to go in her basement. Priced and ready to go. So, like if you haven't started thinking about the upcoming holiday season, get on it. As I said, Costco's got their Christmas trees out already.
Yeah. So again, start thinking about a special event. And
I do want to put in a cautionary note here, Catherine, because imagine everybody thinking, wow, I can go out and make $8,000 to $20,000. But here's what you and I have found, because we help people often do their first event. And the first event sometimes isn't the most successful. Like I'm not going to say it costs money, but they don't necessarily make huge amounts of money. But when clients get used to you having those events on a regular basis, they start looking forward to it, and they come out in droves. So, if your first event doesn't necessarily bring you the most amount of money, I don't want you to discourage. I want you to think this is just the first
Oh,
layer.
Absolutely. It's like anything else. You learn as you go along, right? But if you don't ever start or ever get your feet wet or try, then, it's never gonna happen. And the one thing I want to say, even if you are an independent listening to this, you can get together with maybe a few other people around, and you can do the same thing.
Exactly.
Or even if you're by yourself, have an evening for your clients where you have special pricing. You have pre-book now, and you get special pricing for the new year. There's so many different things you can do to actually make them feel special. And that's really what it's about.
That is. And it makes them feel like that they're part of an organization. People look for these kinds of events.
And we do, our skincare line is Eminence, and we do 3 events a year with Eminence. And it started off really small. And my shareholder that does it has learned as she's gone along, and she does an amazing job of putting these events together. Well, these events now, we have to cap the number of people that come. We had one event, 125 people showed up.
Wow.
To a skincare event.
Wow.
It was crazy. Now we get between 60 and 75 max because it's comfortable to do it. And again, those evenings are $18,000 to $20,000. So, and that's in skincare.
Wow.
Hello. Why would you not want to do them?
Exactly.
It's education, and we educate our clients at those events.
Right.
We always have somebody in that's doing some education.
And the most important thing is that you have to plan it. We've worked with clients who have done events, a couple weeks out. I think I'll throw an event into it.
Doesn't work.
And you know what? You really need the time. You really need to think about what it is that you're going to do. To spend a little money, because like this template here, once you got it made up, you can use it over and over again by changing the date. So it's worth the investment, because what you're going to get back out of it is going to be tremendous, and it will help you reach your annual goal.
So we hope that we've given you some ideas for how you can make the last few months of the year your very best months.
Truly. And I seriously believe that if you do the things that we've talked about today, not only will you have an incredibly successful last quarter, you will make your annual budget, but you will also have set yourself up for success in January and February, which are truly the toughest months of the year for our business.
And really, when you think about it, it may seem a little overwhelming, but you have the rest of August to really get some planning done.
Yep.
And as I said, we're more than happy to share the templates that we have on here. We can send you the actual webinar in PDF format if you would like, so you can refresh your memory.
Yep.
But if you don't do anything, nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you even pick 2 things out of that to focus on, then trust me, your numbers will change.
Exactly. And remember, send us a note at info@theprofitablesalonowner.com and with your email address and what you would like, and we will send it to you. Oh, Jessica, Thanksgiving or Christmas a better time to do an event? Well, if you're out of the States, probably either or.
Yeah, Thanksgiving seems to be like a really big deal. You know, we're Canadian, so our Thanksgiving is...
It's a big deal, but it's
smaller.
It's smaller.
But your Thanksgiving is definitely a bigger deal. But again, you don't want to, if people are going away, you want to make it when you know that most of your clients will be around. So maybe, you know, the week after Thanksgiving,
right,
or 2 weeks ahead of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, think about your actual location and what you think would be best. But do not, you know, put it too close to any holiday.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, for example, if you held it in the middle of November or whatever, you could say, you know, we're holding a Thanksgiving party, you know, to thank all our clients. Or you could say, come for Christmas light up and help us, you know, put the Christmas tree up or whatever. You know, there's all sorts of reasons to sort of hold a party. But I want you to really think about you know, what you're going to do to put it out there, okay? You need at least 6 weeks out and start contacting your clients.
Yeah. So again, you know, you have to know your numbers in order to affect any change, and then you have to create a plan and you have to follow through.
Exactly. By the way, www.theprofitablesalonowner.com is our email or our website. And if you go onto our website, we do have a sign up for our free newsletter that comes out every Monday morning. And we hope you'll come and join us and follow along with our ideas, et cetera, et cetera. Next month's webinar is going to be on holding a salon event.
Yeah,
how appropriate, don't you think?
Yeah, we are going to talk more in depth about holding salon events and what that looks like.
Yeah, because you know what, there really is a way to go about it, and we've certainly seen salons try and, you know, whip it together in 2 weeks, and it just doesn't work. So we've got a full plan, et cetera, et cetera. So we hope you'll join us in the second Monday in September.
Yeah.
What date is that? That's the 8th, I think.
I'm not sure, Eileen. Susie will send it out.
Yes.
Susie. We depend on Susie to send you all of our dates out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this today. I hope it was helpful, and I really would love to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts, and we will talk to you again next month.
Thanks for coming in and joining us, everybody. Have a great day today. Take care.
Bye now.